welcome Aurora.
Hi, Aurora. Hey.
Hello, welcome.
Hello, everyone.
Very nice to see you all. Hi there. So thank you, Kate. Thank you so much. And in fact, you know, yes, Trini.
Kate, can you let Aurora
I'm not sorry, I'm not the person. This is Maria Paula.
Maria Paula, can you let Aurora to
share the screen?
Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, Aurora, listo.
It's okay.
Ready.
Okay, thank you so much. Great. So firstly, well, it's my pleasure to be today here with you all. I'm very happy because I should say that from the very beginning, I guess, of Building Bridges initiative, I follow, ladies, all your amazing movements. And I think it's an amazing initiative. I'm very happy to be on a small part of this, at least because I always supported you and I attended many times, not all of them, but many of them. So thank you, Kate, thank you, Maria Paula, Trini, because I think that this is a simple but amazing initiative that keep people together in such a complicated moment that we are living, and also which gives inspiration and many like reasons to go ahead and tune up our soul, as I say, it's a moment that is not easy. So, well, as Kate more or less explained, if today I'm with you is just...
Oh,
I think we're having some technological problems. Aurora is in a very, it's outside the city right now, in a very small village. So we might need to wait for a few minutes so she can connect. She can be back in Zoom.
She's already here. She's here, Kate.
She's already perfect. Sorry.
okay.
Yes, I'm sorry. And you know, perhaps this will happen a couple of times because I'm not at home. I'm out of the city and my connection is not that. So in advance, I ask you to not too much health complications. So yes, if I'm here today is because I'm representing, as Kat explained, the Institute of Virtual Leadership in Central Asia, here in Pakistan, which is a big country, very far, I guess, from all places. But anyway, a beautiful place full of possibilities and perspectives. I can explain you another day about Kazakhstan, okay? But yes, today we're going to speak about leadership at the end of the day, okay? And show you very briefly and to explain you my plan for today, okay? Can you hear me now properly?
Perfect. Perfect, Aurora.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, so yes, and we are going to speak a little bit about Virtuous Leadership Institute, but we are going to focus much more on how each of us can become a real leader, okay? And I will try to broke a little bit your conception of leadership, because not my idea, but the idea of many people and also the perspective of this institute is precisely to provide a much closer perspective on leadership, because precisely with the help of our temperament, our character, and improving both of them with virtues that we are going to explain what is that about, we can become, each of us, of course, we can become a real leader on our small world, in the one in which we are living in the one in which we move every single day with different people. And okay, I'm going to skip this because Kathy already introduced me very well. And usually when I have this of meetings, I start with my students, for instance, trying to reach a little bit your perspectives on temperament and character. Okay, I know that right now we don't have too much time to focus on this, but anyway, I would like you to think a little bit from your places, okay, about those two words that we have for sure heard many times, okay? Temperament and character. When you receive the announcement about this meeting, the Building Bridges like official announcement, or perhaps you receive a brochure in which you found the possibility to register, perhaps you saw that there was included a test character, okay, a test on character on temperament, precisely to discover if you have not done that before, okay, which temperament you have, okay. And of course, I'm going to explain a little bit further, but I'm sure that you can already say that temperament is something that we receive from God, from nature, and that's something that we don't choose, that we decide, okay. It's something that is given, and we have it from our very first steps in this world, okay. But character, even when sometimes we use those two words like synonyms, but they're not synonyms at all, okay. Character is something much more connected with the way we behave, we construct, we build our identity, our way of interacting with other people, of reacting, etc. Okay, so let's say that temperament is something received and character is something that we can develop. Okay, sorry if perhaps you feel this, okay, that know perfectly, but I'm not going to discover you super new things, but yes, to reflect together, okay, about things that we know perfectly, but that can help us very much, as I told you, to become much more like leaders of our own existence, leaders of the others, like experiences, okay, in the moment in which they interact with us. So yes, temperament and character, they have much more to do with leadership than we think, okay? Many times, for instance, when I speak with my students, with people with whom, that I have coached with them, okay? Perhaps we think that leadership for people like who has a very strong presence, a very strong character, okay? And people who is able like to overcome many difficulties and to show to the others like a super robust identity, okay, that can fight with whatever the problems appear, okay. But at the end of the day, this institute and my approach to leadership, okay, is that each of us improving our, precisely taking advantage, let's say, of our positive phases, okay, from our temperament, and minimizing sorry, it's everything's okay. I hear like sorry, I got distracted, but okay. And minimizing the dark sides, let's say, of our temperament, we can become leaders. Why not? Okay, this is not for an elite. This is not for someone special. Okay, but leadership is for all of us. Okay, and as you can read here, all of us, every of us is called to authentic leadership. Okay, that is much more about achieving greatness by bringing out the greatness in others, okay? So this is something that many times is very interesting to check with people, as I told you, in small talks, in just like some conversations, okay? Because a real leader is not someone who is isolated, one who just look after his own or her own development or improvement, okay, but a real leader is always looking at the other's dimension and at the other development and also improvement, okay. So this, I like very much this kind of like sentence. It's not a definition. It's just like a statement. Okay, that leadership is much more about achieving greatness by bringing out the greatness in others. Okay, and you can even speak about this with your friends, with your close people, and not everyone has this perspective on leadership, but it's quite interesting precisely to keep thinking, reflecting, and speaking about this. Okay. Well, this is more or less as I just say. Okay, leadership is a way of being, which can be lived by everyone, no matter his or her place in society or in a specific organization. Okay, not only those ones with a position of authority, even moral authority. Okay, has automatically, because of that position, has more ability to become a leader. Sometimes it's even more complicated for those ones, okay, because many times we misunderstand precisely what is authority, what is power, and it brings many conflicts, by the way. Okay, leadership is much more, something much deeper. Okay, it's a vocation which is like, as I just told you, like the ability to build the best of your character, precisely with the help of virtues. So, as you can see, the idea of today's meeting, very briefly, because we have kind of like half an hour, a part of this is short introduction. Okay, it's just like to focus on the differences of in temperament, which is something that comes, as I told you, nature. Okay, but character, which is something a little bit different, that comes with the help of a struggle. I mean, it's a battle to improve, to make our character something better. Okay, something that is improving with the help of precisely those virtues. Okay, that you can see there, virtues in action, they transform our our temperament, and they build our character precisely with that struggle. Okay, so whenever you have a question, please feel free to take notes, and we are going to discuss at the end of this small first part. Okay, and we will have sometimes for questions, just because
I'm sorry, ladies. I think Aurora. Okay, you're back, Aurora. Thanks. Good.
Yes. Sorry, it's a little bit, but it's super quick. I mean, it's kind of like a small break for you to rest a little bit. Okay, so let me back.
You're back.
Okay.
Wonderful.
So we were precisely speaking about this, right? Personality is a combination of temperament and character, okay? And temperament, as I told you, is a gift, okay? We are not responsible of the temperament we have. This simple sentence that I just say, yes?
No, nothing. Good.
Okay. Let me know, whatever you have any suggestion. So temperament, that sentence that I just say, okay, we are not responsible for our temperament, can be super helpful for all of us, okay? Because many times we suffer because of the reaction of our temperament, okay? So if I'm a very reactive person, if I become hungry very quickly, or the opposite, I need a lot of time to make a decision, or perhaps I avoid conflicts, I mean, before any other movement or whatever, okay? That's probably something connected with my temperament, okay? This is not something that I can control 100%. And the characteristics of my temperament, even when we are supposed to improve it and to minimize and etc. Okay, but we are going to struggle with them probably during all our life. Okay, this is not for us to get depressed, but just to consider that we cannot fight against nature. Okay, we can improve it, we can even advantage, but we cannot eliminate or avoid it to the very end. Okay. So as you can see here, okay, we can consider that temperament is something physiological, sorry, and that's why this is a very classic classification of the temperaments. Okay, I mean the super classic. I'm speaking about ancient Greek philosophers. Okay, choleric, melancholic, sanguine, and phlegmatic. Something that probably we have heard even at a school, or making some tests as the one that we propose today, etc. Okay, but perhaps the quality of these systems is that we could build character. We should. The reality is that we do it. Okay, we found our struggle to improve, to have a bold and a good character precisely with the foundation of that temperament. Okay. And the character that you can see in the right part of this slide is something spiritual in the sense that that it's something that comes with our will, with our spiritual energies. Okay, and according to those specific virtues that you can see there: humility, magnanimity, justice, mastery, courage, and prudence. Okay, we could say in a very modern way that those are superpowers, but I think that they are much more even. Okay, because a power is something that you use whenever you need it. Okay, but virtues, they transform us. Okay, and I cannot say that I have humility, but I'm humble. Okay, I cannot say that whenever I need it, I behave with magnanimity. No, I become magnanimous when usually I struggle to precisely to put that virtue on action. Okay, so by the way we are performing and we are behaving with a struggle, of course, but at the same time with enthusiasm. Why not? Because we struggle to be transformed. Precisely, we change, and we can say that, as I just told you. Okay, we are not just using humility or I don't know, or behaving with humility, but we become humble, which is something much deeper. Here we have the essence of these questions. Okay, that I got transformed. And in that sense, I can say that it's not that I have superpowers, but I'm a superwoman in the best sense of the word. Okay, a super person, a superman, because now I am that humble. I am that person, etc. Okay. Well, we're not going to dive a lot in this differentiation of temperaments. First of all, because I think that you know probably this, okay? But it's quite interesting to check, okay, this classification, because the choleric, for instance, as you can see, the choleric temperament is marked by quick, intense, and sustained reactivity, okay? Something that marks my reactivity in a very way, and in the long term. Okay, that's why it's sustained. The melancholic temperament is marked by a slow, deep, and also sustained reactivity. Okay? The phlegmatic temperament is marked by slow, restrained, and ephemeral reactivity. Okay, perhaps it's not that deep in the sense that today I reacted that way, but perhaps tomorrow I'm already overcome that reaction. Okay, and the sanguine temperament is marked by quick, spontaneous, and ephemeral reactivity. Okay, so how this affect our way of improving our character, perhaps this is like can help us, okay? Because here I'm giving like a clue about how each of the temperaments are focused or oriented into something very specific, okay? So the choleric is action oriented, the melancholic is idea oriented, phlegmatic is peace oriented, and sanguine is people oriented, okay? That's a small and like a specific word. We are saying many things, okay? Action, idea, peace, and people, okay? You pass through the test. Now I hope that you are seeing yourself more or less represented with this, okay? Well, we could discuss along about, well, you know, I'm not that, I cannot agree that much with my result because I felt myself much more as phlegmatic or choleric, okay? And it's okay because, I mean, those tests are not like perfect ones. And you know, much more because we, I mean, a human being, we are much richer than whatever the paper that we could focus on, okay? Our personality, our temperament is on super region that quickly, okay? But at the same time, well, we could say that those 4 ones could be also considered a little bit internet. Very, very rarely we find a super pure
Aurora, sigues ahí, me parece.
Yes, I'm
Okay,
here. Ah,
okay.
really? I thought I disappeared. Okay.
No, you're here. Would you just, okay. Excellent.
Okay, thank you, Maria Paula. I'm sorry, really, but I cannot avoid this situation. Okay,
Right.
so well, I think that the image is clear enough to understand that we could consider those 4 temperament interconnected among each other. Okay. And now, well, we are precisely going to analyze a little bit how those temperaments, they challenge ourselves in a specific ways, depending on each of them, okay? But it's interesting to check again, okay, that the temperament is like an inclination, okay? Is my first reaction in front of any small challenge or big one that we are facing in our daily life, okay? So the way I react in a very intuitive way, okay, that's my temperament, okay? That's why precisely if you went through the test, sometimes they repeat you, don't be afraid about the result, okay? Yes, and don't think too much, okay? Because you don't need to give like the right answer or to think about, let me check. No. This is much more about how is your intuitive reaction in front of a problem or not a problem, something that called your attention or called your reaction, okay? And at the same time, our physiological inclination can be balanced by virtue, okay? I'm not going to repeat this idea too much, but this is to give you hope at the end of the day. Well, for you and for me, for everyone, okay? Because even when we see that I have that specific and very hard to control or to minimize inclination or like intuitive reaction, okay, but we can balance it. And moreover, we can find the best perspective of that temperament, okay? So if after this meeting, you become a little bit more thankful because of your own temperament, I will be very happy, okay? So the temperament is our friend. It's not something that we should be, I don't know, like that I cannot accept or well, that embarrass myself or whatever. No, 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 the opposite. Okay, every temperament has very many good things, and the most important thing is that the temperament you have is the way you are. Okay, so just accepting and finding the best perspective of your own temperament, you can go ahead, okay, and balance it. But that acceptation is super important. Okay. Well, very well. So we have kind of like 15 minutes, okay. A very super brief perspective on each of the temperament, okay. I'm not going to explain too much, but every picture has its own sense, okay. This is Hamlet, if I'm not mistaken, which in this movie has, I mean, they show very well the choleric, temperament that he had. Okay, so now I'm just going to repeat something. Okay, in every temperament we have some weaknesses and some strengths. Okay, and again, if you went through the test and you find out that your temperament is precisely choleric, okay, now you can, I hope that you will find yourself more or less reflected in this definition. Okay, the weaknesses are clear. Let's start by the strengths. Okay, choleric people is super enthusiastic with many energy, self-confident, and is like a natural entrepreneur. Okay, she has many ideas, many, I mean, a lot of power to start to precisely to go ahead with many projects. Okay, is a natural manager who gets many things done in a short time and is quite comfortable with power. Okay, because he's her natural environment. Okay, but if we analyze a little bit her weaknesses, okay, perhaps his pride and anger, okay, could be precipitate with decision and actions, slow to admit mistakes, super activistic, okay. She's quite like even happy in an atmosphere of confrontation and dominating a little bit the others, okay. Could become quite insensitive, okay, and forget that her people on the same team, they have their own views and feelings, okay, and does not take the time to mold, convince, or teach the people he or she supervises. Okay, this is the typical person that cannot, I mean, he don't know how to delegate. Is very typical of the choleric. Okay, perhaps you can think, well, you just define super clearly my boss. Okay, but well, this is a very funny conversation that I have many times with my students, because not only man have a choleric temperament. Okay, many of them, they have it. Okay, but it's not just specific of men. There are many also women with well, or at least a mix of choleric temperament. Okay, so you can, I'm sure, very quickly get with this result that cholerics are challenged by humility. Okay, that's the virtue that many times they lack more. Sorry. Okay, and they are challenged to develop it and to become well, precisely to not forget that they are living in society, in a community, that the others could have very good ideas, even better than yours, and etc. Okay. What about melancholic? Idea oriented, as you can see. Okay, as you can well, looking at this guy, you can even realize that he's thinking in something else. He's perhaps in another, like, a small world. Why not? And yes, let's start by the strengths of melancholic. And please think about yourself. Okay, again, if you discover out that your temperament is melancholic, try to find which perspective, I mean, if this perspective is adjusted to your reality. Okay, they are deep, reflective, contemplative, sorry, and they are always thinking in terms of ideas, okay, of become like the ideal of what a person should be, what a plan should be, what a project should be, okay. Faithful, patient, persistent. They can handle with big crises and stay calmly, which is something amazing that perhaps in the society we are living on, we need very much, okay. Self-motivated, doesn't respond to the promise of reward, not the threat of punishment, okay. So why? Because the idea, that the ideal also is moving them, is inspiring them, okay. So reward is not that important, okay, but perfection, or the idea that I have about this project, is much motivated than any other reward or punishment, okay. But at the same time, of course, they have tendency to become self-absorbed, and they, perhaps this is the most typical perspective, characteristic, okay. They fear action. Why? Because in action, in the way we behave, in the way we interact, is when human imperfection becomes manifest, and they suffer when the reality doesn't fit, that does not fit, okay, that do not fit, sorry. So sometimes they become pessimistic, magnifies difficulties, because again, this is not as I thought, and it's not according to my plans, to my idea, etc. Okay, don't like to run risk, extremely moody, extremely, okay, ups and down continuously, because precisely, well, they are many times suffering a bit discomfort about what should be and what the reality is, okay. Could be oversensitive, unforgiving, and etc. Okay, and yes, to say it in one word, they are challenged by audacity. Okay, audacity: start something, go ahead with your plans, forget a little bit about what something should be, and try to do it. Just try it, just do it. Okay, as Nike proposes. So just do it, go ahead and try something new, become bold, and don't be that like absurd or like collapse, but the possibility that something could go wrong, okay, which is not that complicated to manage. Oops, sorry. Sanguine, those are people oriented, okay. It's funny because this temperament many times is seen, I don't know why, but like very a funny one, okay, but perhaps for the ones who has it, is not always that easy to manage with them, okay. Great, thank you, Trini. So strengths and those people wants to make them happy, friendly, outgoing, communicative, compassionate, generous, creative. Well, that sounds very exciting, very attractive, okay. They attend to his 5 senses, which gives him a good eye for detail. So they're controlling the sense of the word, okay, because they know what is going on, with whom is going on, who came, where are we going, what are we going to do, etc. Okay, but that perspective has, of course, weaknesses, okay, because they are superficiality and inconstancy. Fun tends to be his prime motivator. They easily get distracted by something new, tend to forsake what he knows is right in order to fit in with the crowd. And that's like tendency to be attuned to his or her 5 senses. Well, many times it's too much focus on tangible pleasures and external attraction. That's why sanguines are challenged by endurance, okay? Because this is people who can start many projects and endeavors every single day, okay? But today we start, because this is my temperament, by the way, as probably many of yours, okay? Sanguines, we are challenged by endurance, okay? Okay, it's super nice to start many things, but go ahead with them. maintain it, okay? Suffer just for the sake of like finishing it and obtaining the precisely what motivates you to start, okay? And phlegmatic, peace-oriented, okay, with that word we say many things. They are focused on peace, and it's a very beautiful temperament, okay? And many times phlegmatic, they are not that aware of all the good things that phlegmatic has, okay? I think that we need many phlegmatics, okay? So they exhibit a scientific approach to reality. They are excellent listener who has great empathy for others, okay? And a strong sense of obligation and cooperation. A hidden wild will of iron, okay? They are constant, loyal, persevering, okay? And they maintain calm almost always, okay? And regarding the weaknesses, well, they avoid conflict at all costs, okay? And this is giving them many headaches, okay? Because to maintain the status quo, the security and routine, they are able to do many crazy things, okay? Because they suffer with conflict. They are indecisive and they are terrified of making mistakes. Okay? And that's why they are prone to passivity. And that's why they are challenged by magnanimity, okay? So as I told you, this is a very super brief view on those 4 temperaments, okay? And I'm not going to continue because that we have only 5 minutes now, okay? So if we could have more time, I will go one by one by those virtues that I mentioned at the beginning, okay? Who are prudence, courage, which is staying the course, maintaining, okay, our endeavors to the very end. Self-mastery, which is a virtue that helps us to direct passions, okay, subduing evil passion and energizing noble passions. I'm sorry, that is like short a little bit. Justice, giving each one his due, okay. And magnanimity, striving towards great things, okay? But if you don't mind these last minutes, I would prefer to go ahead with something that is perhaps much more practical, and it's about how we could put all this struggle to use our temperament, to improve it, and to build our character, to discover our mission, okay? I think that the whole idea of building bridges is precisely to encourage young women like you to discover your mission, and precisely to align all your daily efforts precisely with that mission, okay? So well, this is a Russian writer, okay? But well, the idea is precisely that the success of great lives, is often due to the fact that the person managed to decipher the code that came down to him, to her, understood and learned how to proceed correctly, okay? So all of us, we have a mission, and it's our deal precisely to know it, to discover it, and to put all our efforts precisely in going ahead with that mission, okay? Mission make people great, and many, I mean, precisely the ones who knows where the purpose of their lives, the mission, okay? They can make great people, okay? And precisely the mission gives meaning to my goals. But what is a mission, okay? I don't know. If anyone asks you, do you know your mission in life? Such a question, okay? It's not easy. Firstly, because sometimes we cannot even define quite clearly what is a mission, okay? This is interesting because it's a call to action, okay? It's not just a call to reflect about, it's a call to action, to go ahead, to move your efforts, okay? The best of you, okay? And it's something that I do all the time, not only in a special moment, not only in specific times, okay? My mission at the end of the day is my specific contribution to humanity. Okay, that's something that that will remain after me, that I will provide to the others. Okay, and my mission is important because it's defining who am I. Okay, so I'm finishing with this. Okay, I propose you in order to really to better understand your mission, to reflect after this session. Okay, you have a whole month to reflect about this and to write down your story. Okay, you could say, but Aurora, we were speaking about mission, why now a story? Okay, but your story will help you to define your mission, really. So take notes, get ready, and think about the next weeks about this, really. Okay, it's not only about me, it's also about the people who live in me. Okay, people who influenced me, and that influence has been powerful. Okay, your family, your parents, or well, people with whom you lived, etc. Okay, write about the people who have been instrumental in your life, about the books, the movies, the music that helped you during your story. Okay, your country, if it's best and perhaps is not that good perspective. Okay, the things that you don't like about it. Okay, the ideals you want to fight for, and the key events in your life until now. Okay, and perhaps will help you to think that your story should be dramatic, poetic, symbolic, and short. Okay, it's not something that should be very long, but with this characteristic you will find yes, that your story is something interesting. Okay, and according to your story and having in mind your temperament, okay, whoever you are, melancholic, choleric, sanguine, or phlegmatic, and your talents, okay, you will be able to write down your mission statement. Okay, not only organization has mission statement, okay, but also every of us. Okay. Well, Trini, I don't know how I'm doing with time. I'm sorry, and probably we are done with this. Just let me provide you some examples about mission statement. Okay.
Perfect. Yeah.
It should be broad. Okay, it should be broad enough that it could accomplish it, that you, sorry, could accomplish it in different ways. Okay, it's something big, but at the same time, narrow enough that it speaks to me every single day. Okay, and I will propose you 3 examples. We have there Alexander Solzhenitsyn, who is a Russian writer, Saint Teresa of Calcutta, okay, who was a Catholic nun that probably you know perfectly, and Jérôme Lejeune, who is a French scientific. Okay, so thank you, Trini. Okay, they define that mission statement. Okay, and those are quite good examples. Okay, Alexander Solzhenitsyn say, "I wanted to be a memory, the memory of a people doomed to tragedy." Okay, he's speaking about Russia after the long years of the communist and Soviet times. Okay? Well, he made many things to become such a memory. Okay? Saint Teresa of Calcutta, I wanted to become a mother to the poorest of the world's poor. Okay, and for those who are familiar with her story, that's something that she really made. Okay, with her daily life. And Jérôme Lejeune, he say, I wanted to hold scientific truth and the larger moral truth that flows from it. Okay. So, well, he has a very clear scientific vocation, and it's very beautiful to check precisely that he devoted his entire life to this idea. Okay. Not only idea, something even specific. Okay. And yes, even once perhaps not connected, but with the help of your a little bit now enricher idea of temperament. After writing your story and defining your mission statement, really with these powerful instruments, you will be able to really become a better leader in your daily life. Okay. So I guess that my speech is done more or less, but I'm going to use 30 seconds just to show you the Virtuous Leadership page, okay, web page, because it will help to dive a little bit more, because I couldn't explain that deep, okay. But as you can see here, our page is in 4 languages: English, Russian, French, and Spanish. And you have many material here, okay? So you can go through this material. You can even, well, if you would like really to know much more about this, there's an online course, not that is quite affordable, okay? With many videos, with many information that will really like enrich very, very deep your knowledge about this, okay? And yes, for those who couldn't went through the test, don't forget that it's super useful, and this is the best one that we found, okay? temperamentquiz.com is very, very rich. I mean, the feedback that they provide you is super rich. So I encourage everyone to go through it, because it's really interesting, okay? And just for you to know, if we decide to, I mean, if from this meeting with these nice people, we decided, for instance, to organize any other seminars on this topic, on leadership, temperament, and character, there are 3 super interesting workbooks with which we could work ahead. And I'm unfortunately, they're open. I mean, you can buy it just in Spanish, okay, and you can just Google it and you will find for sure. But in English, they are not. They don't have open access. So this is like a temptation. If you would like to have it, we should go the course, and that's a material that I could provide. Okay. Perfect. So now I think I'm done.
Yes. Can you hear me, Aurora?
Perfectly. Mm-hmm.
Yes. So thank you very much. That was a very impressive presentation. And I think we have learned a lot of, that you have presented. For sure can help everyone, to use that idea of character and temperament, in all our, relationships at work, with friends, even in, romantic relationships. I think it's very useful. So now we will have time for questions. So I will invite anyone that, you can send your questions in the chat, or you can open your microphones and ask directly any questions you have to Aurora.
Well, hi, I have a question. I'm Claudia.
Mm-hmm.
And well, when I was listening to you, I was trying to fit me in one of this character, in this temperament, and I feel sometimes that I have something for each one. So sometimes I say I think I'm sanguinity sometimes, but I'm melancholic too. But sometimes I'm this one too. So I don't really know what's the I mean, the characteristic that I have to be inside one of these temperaments. Yeah, I don't know what they
Sure.
about it.
Yes. So look, Claudia, let me encourage you again to go through the test. Okay, and I'm sending right now by chat. Okay, here you have it. But if you remember, I don't know if you could hear me from the very beginning, but I spent a short time explaining that is about how you react, okay? How intensive, how deep, and how long remains your reaction, your intuitive reaction in front of any problem or any, not only problems, okay, but something happened in front of you, how you react, okay? Many times, for instance, you say, I'm a very primary person. I see something, suddenly I react, okay? But perhaps that reaction doesn't long. It's just poop, and I mean, I don't know any circumstance that you could think about, okay? You see the guy you like, or you are at work and something happened with your boss, or you just passed through an awful exam, or whatever the circumstance that you could think, okay, if your reaction is very deep, or if it's quite superficial, or if it longs for many time, okay, or is that intensive that you can even become depressed just because, I don't know what happened with your dog, okay? I mean, sounds funny, but I'm sure that you can say, hey, don't speak about my dog because it affects me, okay? It's not because we love animals, but it's the way we react, okay? You read a novel and you become a person, an actor on that novel for 2 weeks, okay, for instance. So that kinds of, I mean, it's not about your decisions. So we are not speaking about the morality of your reactions, okay? It's just how you react in front of any challenge, small that appear in front of you, okay? But again, if you want to go through the test, you will find a super rich and interesting definition. And again, don't go super deep in trying to find the right answer to the test. This is not an exam, okay? And the only, I mean, the one that are more interested on know more about that is only you. So we're not pretending to have a temperament which is not yours, because that won't help you. So try to respond, I mean, not like crazy, but quickly. Don't thinking about the answer too much, and you will see, you will check, okay? But again, we are not, I mean, human beings, persons are not just like a pure chemical, I don't know, component, okay? So many times we have a mix of temperaments. That's also very typical.
Okay, Aurora, I have another question. I did the quiz, and at the end I had like a little bit of 3 of them, but to understand the results, the page said that it was there were some temperaments that were incompatible. For instance, I
Yes.
couldn't be sanguineous and melancholic.
And do you have the perception that you are both of them, or
No,
what?
no, I'm curious why.
No, just because they are like incompatible. I mean, because sanguinic, for instance, they have a very quick reaction, and melancholic, they have a very slow reaction. So just by definition, they are incompatible. Okay. And well, the way they are located in that graphic is quite clear. I mean, they are in opposite positions. Precise. I can show you again, okay? But they are in opposite position precisely because if you have very long-term reaction, you cannot have a very short reaction. So it's just a question. I mean, and this is precisely because the criteria to define it is like binary, okay? Whatever I mean, you could have only like a quick reaction or a slow one, okay? You could have a deep one or a superficial one. In that sense, they are incompatible because the criteria are quite simple at the same time. Because I mean, this is human. Human experience, okay? So I mean, no much more like 1,000 of years and many centuries just to realize that our reaction at the end of the day can be defined that way.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, Aurora, we have one last question from Flor. She says that thank you for the presentation. It helped a lot to understand herself. And her question is if there is a mission more suitable to one temperament.
I don't think so. I mean, the most important like how to define it. I mean, the mission is the way we define ourselves in this world, okay? And the important thing is, I mean, it should not suit Aurora's temperament. It should suit Aurora. So it's not something that should be aligned with Flor's temperament, okay? But Flor, sorry, should be the one in finding it, okay? So, and you know, I mean, because if we could think that there is a specific mission more suitable for a specific, at the end of the day, we could find like only 4 enormous package of missions, okay? And no, mission is something super personal, completely intransferable, and something super, I mean, only yours, okay? So the mission is, and you know, Flor, also because our stories are super different, even with your twin sister, okay? You will have different stories because everything is affecting us in different ways. So the way we define our story is also very important in defining our mission, not only our temperament, okay? So knowing your temperament will help you, of course, but it's not like the last word in defining your mission. Also, don't forget about your story.
Yes, Aurora, I just have, and this is my question really quickly. So given the difference in temperaments that one are less confrontive, the other more, and is there, you know, if I am if I am a choleric, for example, or a sanguine, are there people that I get along better because of their temperament, and and maybe I have like a little bit more difficulty to empathize with that person because of their temperament, or not necessarily?
Absolutely, yes. Of course, because for instance, if choleric, they are prompt precisely to react, to go ahead, to have many initiatives and etc. This is like the typical character, the typical person who with a high probability will conflict with phlegmatic, who is always avoiding precisely conflict, okay? Or for instance, melancholic, which is avoiding new projects and etc. Okay, but again, you know, one of the dangers of this when we think too much about theory, okay, from a very theoretical point of view, perhaps everything becomes much complicated. So think about people. You presented very well, Maria Paula. Think about, I mean, with my husband, with my friend, with my boss, okay? You are, I mean, it's not that you are incompatible, okay? But precisely you are called to improve your character with the help of your virtues. Also having in mind that your husband has a completely opposite temperament, okay? But I recommend you to think always about people. I mean, the people with whom you live. And it's very interesting. Even you could give others that test, okay? Could you please go through this test? And we are going to know each other much better. And this will help our relationship, of course, why not? Mm-hmm.
It happens to me that just seeing the descriptions, I see myself between choleric and sanguine and my husband is completely the opposite. It's like phlegmatic, you know, it's like this idealistic, very, you know, and sometimes pessimistic and thing. But we do such an amazing team because whatever I have in the fullest, he lacks. But but he helps me a lot because he organized me, and I think we compensate each other truly. We might be, you know, it could be explosive, these two reactions, but we just balance each other just perfectly.
Completely. Also because I'm sure that you are ready to improve yourself and to give the best, I mean, precisely to minimize whenever you are becoming a little bit more aggressive or he's becoming a little bit more passive, because I mean, you are ready also to adapt to the other. So of course, I mean, it's not something that you are, I mean, condenado, okay, to react
Yeah,
always
yeah.
that way. No, no, no. Of course, I mean, it's something that precise. And also, well, whenever you are a little bit used to analyze yourself and to avoid your bad sides, of course, you find not only a common language, but a way to interact better, for sure.
Yes.
Mhm.
We have one last question from Gary. I hope I'm pronouncing correct.
Greetings.
Yes.
I hope everyone is fine and doing well. Thank you so much for this wonderful lecture, Ms. Aurora. I just wanted to ask a question that, in your point of view, which one of these four important points about the
Temperament?
the temperament, which one is more better in your idea? And another question is, pardon me for asking more questions. I have a lot of questions. I will certainly find your contact as well to ask
sure.
that. The second question is that when I took this test, I have found that my temperament is two of them, which is the percentage is exactly equal. And I just wanted to know how to understand it better, which one is more higher and which one is better.
Okay, okay.
And
So get it.
it was extraordinarily amazing. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. I'm happy to hear that it helped you. So look, it's crucially important to consider that there is not a better get it disappear or not.
Mm-hmm.
I know you are here. Okay, you just change your position. So there are not better temperament than other. Okay. And this is a liberation for all of us. Okay. It's not that the choleric are the best one and melancholic are the worst one. No, 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 no. And that's why I spent a long, I know, explaining that each of them, they have strengths and weaknesses, of course, okay? The most important thing is not that, okay, I would prefer to be much more a choleric to start many projects and whatever, but if that's not you, I mean, try to accept it and try to focus on all the best, the good things that you have in your temperament, okay? And don't struggle against nature because that will kill you, okay? Go with the flow in the best sense of the sentence, okay? Take the best of your temperament and enjoy life because, and don't be like spend your life pretending to have the strengths of other temperament. I mean, just try to improve your own temperament with the help of virtues, of course, and improving and making your temperament much like strong. Okay. And the second question, if I understood properly, I think that you mean that the result provide you like a composition of two temperaments. But I'm sure that it gave you also with some percentages or just 50-50?
No, percentages. For instance, the sanguine 93% and as well as choleric 93%, which was a little bit interesting for me. I wanted to ask you this question. Which one am I then?
90,
Is it
90
something specifically? 93%, both of them, choleric as well as 93% sanguine, 50%.
Sorry, I think I don't get it. You went through the test twice?
No, just once.
Just once, but you got that result?
Yes, this result. It was interesting. That's why I just wanted to ask you this question.
I see. Well, I'm not the one who designed that test, okay? We are using always it in our institute, okay? But it sounds to me a little bit strange. Usually they offer you like a composition because as I told you, we don't have like a pure
share the screenshot. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I can share the screenshot.
But get if sure, and we could get in touch. Sorry, I'm just realizing that I wanted also to show you my whenever, I mean, if you would like to keep in touch with any of you, okay, you could just write me an email or find me in LinkedIn, or even send me a WhatsApp, okay? By this.
Yes, I have. I
info
will
that
find. I have some
okay.
friends who are studying in your lectures. I can ask them.
Okay. Viva, Shakiba, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And Arezzo.
Shakiba,
Great.
Habiba,
Sure,
and
sure.
Arezzo.
Yes, great, great. I have Afghanistan in my heart after this course with them, of course. Mhm.
Thank you so much.
Great.
We
So
love
yes,
you.
yes, this is for all of you. I mean, feel free to contact me. Okay. But yes, Getty, as long as this is quite a specific question, please feel free to contact me. Okay, and we
Okay,
could
okay.
solve together.
Yes.